All right, guys. So some court documents dropped of Nick Rekieta. There was a hearing involving Nick Rekieta and the Department of Family Protective Services, or whatever it is, over there in Minnesota. I'm not going to read through the document. There's been many other LawTube guys that have done that already. Shout out to them. They do great work. They know who they are. But I'll say this. As a former CPS worker, like what I read from this, it matches perfectly with like prior experience, prior examples, situations where, which we would call case dads, or fathers that think they can actually get themselves out of these situations by talking themselves out of these situations, thinking that they can actually convince the judge if they just be very persuasive. Like they think they really can do that. So much so that they will actually do most of the talking and not their attorney, if they even have one. Like I've seen people without an attorney, did not even want an attorney, refuse it, even though the court was going to actually give them a free attorney. Okay? But they're like, no, I waive that right. I will represent myself. And the stuff they say, it is baffling, right? But you guys got a sample of it. You guys didn't have to work 8 years in hell to get that taste. You got it from Nick Rekieta. Nick Rekieta is showing you how to not get custody if the state were to ever get custody of your kids. If for some reason you got involved in CPS, things can get messy. Bad moves can be made, for sure. I hope for the best. For you, your family, okay, everyone involved, okay? And if for some reason those situations, your kids got removed from you, maybe it was not justified, okay. All right, I'll tell you what you don't do. You do not follow what Rekieta did here. What he is doing is pretty much saying that, let me put it this way. He's thinking that there was no harm, that there was no danger, no safety threat for the kids. Like there's two major things that I got from this hearing. One, there was a question about whether or not the paternal or even the maternal grandparents would be safe, being that they have been around the kids, even when the kids have been around the Rekietas living in the home when the drugs were around. So it's kind of like, wait a second, are the paternal grandparents really that protective of these kids? If they knew Nick and his wife were doing these drugs and possibly had this stuff going around the kids, how come they did not step up? That's a good question. That is a very good question. Okay. The other thing is I got here is that Nick Rekieta thinks all it is merely a statute that's keeping him away from his kids. Nick believes it is the law, I guess the way the statute's written, keep it away. Not the stuff actually supporting the statute of abuse and neglect, okay? The stuff would be the cocaine found in the house, okay? He's saying that he believes the kids had no idea that this stuff was in the house and that it was being used, so it never posed a safety threat to them, and there was never any danger of harm. Well, let me tell you something. Once again, as a former CPS worker, investigator, it really doesn't matter if the kids said they've never seen you use. Okay, that part doesn't matter. Like, you had the drugs in the home. That's all they really need. Okay, they can build the rest on top of that. But here's the thing. Because the reason I like that, because some kids, being their age, they may not know, right? They may not know what they saw. That's true. That's true too, right? But Nick does not know what his kids said in the interviews. And this is a reality for all of us right here that are watching this. We really do not know how thorough those interviews were. Dude, one of those kids could have said something. All right? You'll be baffled by what you can hear, what you'll get when you just ask kids questions. I'm talking open questions. You don't lead them with anything. You just ask them. Hey, tell me about your day. Tell me what's happening. What were your parents doing? Okay, tell me about the house. You ask them to describe things and walk you through it. Okay, and you'll get some crazy stories. You'll get some crazy stuff, man. And sometimes the kids want to say something, but they don't know who they could talk to, and they feel like no one's going to listen, and they're kind of reaching out. That could have been his kids, one of them. I mean, he has 5? So the odds are pretty good. Nick has no idea what the kids said. Nick does not have access to the investigation. It sounds like it's ongoing, right? That's what in this hearing. There's a lot of things still in play. Now, when it's all said and done, he could read stuff, and he might be able to get a redacted copy and stuff. That's true. That's true. Typically, what the parents get is really just a findings of the or a report of the findings. That's typically all they really get. But the thing is, Nick has no idea about the interviews with his kids. He had no idea what they said. But even with that, even for some reason, none of them said anything about the use of cocaine in the home. Never saw in the home. It doesn't change the fact that the police had a warrant. They went into the home and they found a lot of drugs in the home there. Okay? That's bad. Okay? And there's drug tests that what you did, but you don't want to release the results. That's bad too. You'd be like, oh, it's my right, my constitutional right, or I want to question the lab that they're using. Those questions will not avoid those questions are just kind of buying time and trying to find a way around the what's obvious coming here, which is you're going to be asked to reveal your hand, whether you like it or not. Let's say you take drug tests and you refuse to have the results made, material. Okay, the court is going to drug test you there, and the results will be shown. Now, it's probably going to be urine, and cocaine's not going to show in urine, unless Rekieta is ballsy, or I don't know, unless because I think he's still using. Okay, there might be it doesn't last in your system very long. Okay, so he would have to just not use the week before the hearing, knowing that the judge might drug test me here, so maybe not use. But you have those hair follicles, right? A court could request that too. A court can request that. Judges can request all sorts of stuff. Okay, if they think it's if they deem it important. Okay, and they're going to ask you if you refuse to take the test. They're going to be like, why? And that itself is going to make it look very sus. And your attorney might try to argue, but no, it's an uphill battle. Some people just like the ice skate uphill. Okay, all right. But I'm sure Rekieta's lawyer is like, no, I wouldn't do that. But Rekieta himself would argue that. That's what I got from this hearing, from these papers. Rekieta can't help himself. He used this time, this hearing, to be like, Judge, he says, I understand that the court's position is to try to attempt to facilitate the safest visitation for the children, but there is no indication other than simply a statute that these children have ever been in danger of exposure to any substance, or that their parents have been under the influence of any of the substance around these while providing care. That's what Nick said right there. Make those drug to the drug test, Nick. The drug test. Don't be all weird about the drug test. Okay? You being weird about it is making it be like, no, you used. You're hiding it. You're being very, very weird about it. And then you literally had the drugs in your home. You literally had a stream where you had white powder on your nose. Well, what are you talking about? Like, here's the thing. If you don't play ball here, they will piggyback on the criminal side of this. I mean, they are. And your lawyer is not going to argue that that's like what the poison fruit of the poison tree. No way. No way. That's a real dumb argument to make here. No. What I'm saying is Nick thinks he's so smart. He thinks he's the smartest one in the room. Thinks he can out-charm that, or I guess he could persuade the judge with his charm, his charisma. He really thinks he can. But he's going before the judge, doing this stuff, and he's rolling ones. Okay? I don't see how Nick is gonna get his kids back. They like the Department of Family Protective Services, what they are over there in Minnesota, are not gonna just give up on this. Be like, you know what? Here you go. Here are the kids. We're sorry. No, they're gonna continue. They're gonna double down on this. They're gonna press you on it, and the judge will too. There's a few things here where I think there's one thing where like Rekieta mentions he can't really get a hold of the family, the CPS worker. And the judge does mention that there seems to be like a lack of attempts and all that stuff. Let me tell you, that stuff happens. Like CPS workers, whatever you think about them and all that, but like their workload is insane. No one would ever want that job. Okay? No one in their right mind. The workload is insane. What you're asked to do is just like you have to sacrifice everything that's important to you, like family, friends, all that, and you pretty much you're working forever. You're always on call, and you're going into these dangerous situations, and you don't really get a time to really document and really process what's going on. You're kind of just going go. All right? It's a lot of intense situations, very stressful situations, and it's just a bombardment of it, okay? Because you're dealing with a mixed bag from like, blown out situations of like, oh, my dad slapped me or spanked me. Like those cases are like, okay, I don't have time for that. But then you might get stuff where it's like, holy crap. The mom is there and the boyfriend beat up the kid. Like he has a gnarly bruise on his face. Oh, holy crap. They have meth in here. Holy crap. The parents were high on weed again. And the little kids, like 5 and 6, were running around the streets at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, that's bad. That's not good. No. That's a horrible situation. But what I'm saying is the CPS worker may not have time to really answer anything Rekieta said or was his attempts. I have no idea. But the one thing I think the judge did mention that he did notice that the department should do better on those attempts. But that's not the judge chewing the department out. Okay? The department's expecting that. Like, here's the thing. When, as a CPS worker, when you go before the judge, like, you know the judge is going to, like, give you some things to say. He's going to give you his opinion. But, like, if you present the good cards, if you know what you have, if you know what your hand is and you play it well, oh yeah, dude. Like it's, especially if it's drugs. Oh yeah. Like you involve cocaine and kids, that judge is not gonna go lenient on the parents there. Okay. Not unless they have enough money to buy them off. But Nick does not. He's buying off other streamers like Chrissy Mayer or whatever, which is sad. Anyway, I'm very curious what you guys think about this. You guys let me know. By the way, I do a reaction stream where I react to music videos of various kinds. There's a lot of Japanese metal. You can check that out over on React in Chill, and I also stream on Twitch every Friday night, around 8 o'clock to midnight, where I'm pretty much reacting to music videos, whatever you request live in the chat. With that said, y'all take it easy and have a good one.